Well, on this GSC, Prt1 is done, and we had to swap out and finish with Super MD because the old 400 had a fuel pressure problem. So I'm going to flip the camera around and try to talk about it and work our way through it. I'll grab the tripod. Hopefully we can make heads or tails of this, but it looks like something's clogged. So on the old trusty 55 400 diesel here, this tells us what our fuel pressure's at. And currently, unless it's at wide open throttle, it lands about on that R in range, and that's as far as it goes. Super MD stays closer to the G, and at idle, this thing drops right back to where it's at there. So I've read a couple places the filters get clogged. I've read that the filter bases get clogged. I've read that the screens in these get clogged. This gets clogged. These lines get clogged. It's an assortment of things. So I'm going to start by taking these fuel filters we just changed, pop the canisters open, get them drained in my little drain can here, and see if we can't just work our way forward and find out if we have something plugged. Because when I pulled the pickup screen off, when we were bailing, this was full of goop, which tells me that coming out of the filters, there is gunk. And right now it's very much, it almost looks like black sand, which looks like the inside of the old filters that were in the tractor. So I'm going to pop these off, make sure our canisters aren't clogged, and work our way into the water separator into inlet screen. We'll check our return side here, outlet, and make sure that nothing's funky there. And then if that doesn't net anything, I'll go ahead and pull this primer pump back off and see if maybe there's something plugged up there. So I'm going to work on grab some stuff here, see if we can get it cracked open, and start working our way through it. So we'll see what we can do here. We're going to knock these loose, at least this one here. See if I can get to this with my multi-tool. Oh, look at that. They both are loose. Oh, well, so far there's chunks coming out of this one, so that's not a really great sign. Well, that may be half of our problem then. As you can see, there's basically nothing coming out. So I'm gonna close these up, grab my 7/16 wrench, see if I can close or open the bleeders up here in the top. Maybe that'll give me enough of a vacuum release to get these to drain, but judging by the chunks coming out of both of them, I don't know that it's gonna really do me a lot of good. Get it up the top, because there's lots of room in here. For those of you that watched the primer pump rebuild video, you know it's kind of tight. All right, so we got these loose. There we go. Ooh, yeah, that's chunky. And that's chunky. Okay, well, I guess this might just be one of them days where, oh yeah, big old flecks of crap just came out of those. I guess I'm gonna take these bleeders all the way out. Not that I wanted to, but they're pretty nasty. Oh yeah, both of them are damn near swelled shut with crap. So, okay, those two can drip for a minute here. So, bleeders are almost all the way out. So, now that we know there's goo in these, I gotta remember what size my wrench was to get those off. 7/8. What a good size. There we go. One's loose. This one's loose. Or thinking about it, it's dreaming. There we go. Now that I've had these off, I hope they're going to be a little easier to deal with than when I did the filters, because they were basically held on with paint and they did not want to come off. Oh boy. Getting a little bit of a diesel bath here. Alright. Super MD. Hood's way up here. Comes right out. 400? Nah. Definitely not as easy. Oh, there we go. So these are hollow with an O-ring. Here's your filter assembly, if you can see it. These are O-ringed into the bottom of the filter head. And yeah, they do not like to come out. Not without some persuasion. And judging by all the crap on the bottom of these filters, this is probably why this tractor is not a happy camper at the moment. Try this one. Now that we have one out, can we do two? Maybe. Maybe not. Oh, there we go. Hey. Got it. Yahtzee, okay. Same filter on both sides. Just as much fun to get out. Because long hoods. Thanks, Farmall. Okay. That looks delicious in there. Alright, I'm going to get some brake clean and start here because that's pretty bad. And then we can work our way into the water separator. So I'm just going to keep tearing it apart. I'm not even going to clean these yet. Currently the water separator, I opened the separator valve, nothing's coming out, so I'm going to have to undo my little clasp here and get this thing to a point that it's somewhat wanting to remove itself from the tractor without breaking the glass bowl, because you know that would suck. Okay, so it's loose. These are all fun and games, but they hit the frame on these tractors, so you end up having to walk these retainers back. There we go. So here's our diesel and our separator, and you can see it's pretty nasty, and it has also a lot of glitter in it. A lot of sediment at the bottom of that. So we're really doing a good job betting 1,000 here for having stuff not good. All right, so now we have over half the system pulled apart. I've got to get a 13/16 for this, and we'll check that inlet screen too. Okay, so this is your inlet to the injection pump, and I just cleaned this not even 20 minutes of runtime ago. It's probably not going to focus. That screen is cake full of crap again, so I would say that I am going to be doing some cleanup here. These should be 3/4, but got both our filters off. Water separator, the screen doesn't look bad in here. This from the tank is pretty bad. I may see if I can't just pop this loose and get it to drain. It may not, maybe it will. So we got it apart. Now I'll start working on where we're going to start cleaning. Brake clean it is. Chunky. Oh yeah. Lots of goop in the bottom of that. You can see it pouring out. All right, we'll thread these back in, hose this thing down and crack them open. I'll clean out that fuel bowl again, clean out my feed fitting, and then we'll try to reassemble it and see if it's got any improved flow. But man, I really feel bad for old equipment like this, because I mean, it's not their fault that, you know, stuff happens. Maintenance gets neglected. There we go. All right, now I got some flow coming out of that. That's better. All right, no more sediment at the bottom of my bowl. Now I got to do my inlet fitting here. We're just gonna see what we can do with this poor thing, because it's pretty bad. All right, that is much better. I can actually see through it now. I can actually tell that it's got copper in it too. Kind of cool. Okay, so this is my guard here. It's going to save me from goop from there. I do believe that I need to probably pull this feed line off. It goes A to B, because this is the side of the housing that was absolutely the worst. I just want to give this thing the best fighting chance I can at being right, because it needs that opportunity in life, you know? All right, 3/4. I love when they paint the fittings over, so you gotta like rock them. There we go. Forward, back, forward, back. There we go. Okay. Okay, well, the fuel that's in this line is blacker than night. Oh, and very chunky. So good choice. There we go. Actually has flow now. That's cool. Hopefully this will be enough that this thing will. That's much better. There. Okay, I'm going to put our fuel line back in here. If I remember how it goes. Nope. Come on. Okay. I'm kind of ashamed to be doing this to a tractor that's been like painted and somebody took the time to make it all pretty, because, well, it's not very pretty when I'm done with it. Functional, not fashionable. Okay, so that's cleaned up and back on. I guess what I should do is knock this loose. Open the fuel, let it run for a second. Make sure from tank to pedestal here, I don't have problems. Judging by the color of that diesel, I'm gonna have problems. That's decent flow. Back on here. Very carefully. Alright, so all my lines are on. Everything's tight. All of my extraneous things I think are on. They look pretty good. I think I should be able to put my bowl back on while I still have most of this apart. since it's such a peach to do. Okay, there's my water bowl. And I'm gonna do this wrong every time I do it forever because it's like tractor part Tetris. Okay, that's gonna go like that. And then it's gonna get out of the way. And then this is gonna go like this. There we go. Okay, slightly better than the last 3 times I've done it. Practice makes perfect. That's what they tell you. Okay, so now I gotta get this up. Oh, it's so close. This is like the worst part of reassembly on this thing. Okay, there. It's almost over the latch there. Hey, Yahtzee. Tetris is over, finally. So, you just gotta get the dish square on the bowl. It rubs on this damn near, and it makes me nervous, just so everybody knows. Okay, so we'll do filter number 1 here. If this O-ring will survive enough to reuse, because these things are rough from someone painting over them a million times. And unfortunately, I don't have any O-rings this big here. And what's amazing is the filter kits for these tractors do not come with O-rings at all. So they come with the O-rings on the bottom, but that's it. Not the actual canister one. Which, I guess, doesn't surprise me, but it kind of does. Because you know you're going to tear these darn things every single time. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. Okay, I wait. So I pop those back down. Great. And then when I start to set this on, push the bolt down in. It's threading, it's just a mile long. These were 7/8. About 3 coats of paint ago, they were smooth turning 7/8. Now they're whatever these are. Okay. We're just gonna see what happens here. I don't think it's gonna seal, but as stated, I don't have extra O-rings here, so I'm gonna have to just make do what they got. The old farmers do. Alright, that's in. For some reason, no matter what I do, this one does not spin on the housing. The bolt will not come loose. So I just kind of get it going. There we go. Go just a little more. And then it starts. And it goes all to the bottom, usually. Petcocks are going to be tight here. Okay. 7/8 on this one too. Well, if you can get a wrench on it because of the paint. Alright, I have everything on. I have my canisters open, 7/16 at the top. Now if I turn my diesel on, it's going to fill my bowl first. I'm going to open every avenue I can to get air out of this thing. A lot of guys start them on the gas side and they run them while they do this, but I haven't gotten brave enough to do that yet, if you want to say that. I try to let all my pieces and parts here get filled up, and then once I know they're ready to go, then I fire the tractor up and final bleed it. But ideally, all right, tight. Tight. All right, water separator's full, nice and green, fresh diesel. Okay, I'm gonna close him. Give it just a little oomph so it can't leak. Oh, I must not have the bowl on all the way because it's coming down the side. So I'm going to turn my diesel off back here. Okay, loosen this up. Turn our fuel back on here. Oh yeah. Man, this thing just has no. There we go. Down with a slow drip. All right, I can deal with that. Let's fast drip. Must be an old O-ring or a cork gasket up there that's giving up the ghost. We'll let her drip for a minute. All right, I'll turn the gas on this thing, fire it up. See if we can't make it bleed. If it does, awesome. something up in that primer pump, but now I know that I've eliminated my filter heads. We know everything up here is doing what it's supposed to do. Now it's time to start figuring out this fuel tank, pull that primer pump back off and see what we get. So little by little we'll get this tractor figured out. So after fiddling with the throttle, it is coming back up. My O-rings do have a little bit of a weepage, but it's not bad. So I think what I'm going to do is take this thing over to the field and just kind of romp it a little bit. On throttle, off throttle, and see if that's enough to get it to make solid, steady pressure again. Because it made good pressure Sunday morning, but it didn't last. So, try to just get it to the point where it just wants to go. See if it makes fuel pressure. You know, I'd like to be mad, but that's better than it has been as we throttle it up. Now, I still got some work to do. We'll get it figured out, but we know that at least this is cleaned out. I'll get new O-rings for both of these. I'm probably going for this. See if I can get a new screen for that. Because we do still have some fuel dripping, and air and fuel will affect pressure. But, I mean, it's better than this being all the way over in the red. It sucks, but I'll take what I can get. There's your quote-unquote high idle you're supposed to check it at. It's about neutral. So I'll get some O-rings. We'll see if we can get that figured out, but that's a start. I'll take it. Hopefully we'll have this thing ready to rip here soon and be back out doing cool tractor stuff.